Hey everyone, we're back here in Bali and I'm going to start doing some commentary on some of the sparring matches that you see here in the gym. I got people of all walks of life in here. We got MMA fighters, jiu-jitsu athletes, judo black belts, bodybuilders. We got all walks of life here in Bali. So I'm really excited to kind of break down, give you some commentary on these sparring matches. If you guys like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel.
All right, I'm going to start doing some commentary on my guys rolling in the gym here. I'm just going to kind of run you guys through what I kind of see. Got Mike versus Nico here. Nico in the gray, Mike in the blue. And we're just seeing some real basic hand fighting here at the start. It doesn't look like anyone's really looking to pull guard. Mike sits back with that 2-on-1. Nico does a good job pulling his hand free. Some good hand fighting here. Nico pins that bottom leg and starts to circle. So yeah, let's go back and kind of look at just what happened there real quick. So like off the start, that was really good. Nico did a good job of controlling the legs. And you can kind of see that Nico is already in position here, where he can start pushing this knee down, right? If Nico can successfully get Mike's knees together, it's going to be much easier for him to pass. What Mike needs to be focused on doing is like externally rotating his knees or his hips, keeping his legs nice and wide. If you can do that, it's going to make it much harder for Nico to circle. But Nico, took advantage of the situation, doing a good job here with his grips. So what he does is real simple. He can just push that leg down and get it a quick pass to side control. So we see Mike doing something really good here right away off the pass. Mike's redirecting Nico's head to the other side. Nico wants his head on that on the cross side positioning of Mike. It's going to make his weight much heavier. But if Mike can successfully pummel Nico's head to the far side of his body, essentially getting Nico's hips and head in one line here on the same side of his body, it's going to be much easier for Mike to find his escape. So we'll just kind of look and see what happens next here. Seeing some good action, some good jiu-jitsu right away. Mike's staying a little flat. It would benefit him to get on his side a little bit more. Nico doing a good job with the crossface, though, making that not easy for him. And there we go. Mike manages to pummel his legs back in, and we get a little reset. So yeah, these guys doing a good job. Mike moves to top position. Nico manages to get on his hips, though, hit a quick double leg, move into side control. Again, kind of more of the same here. We see, again, Mike doing a good job here, trying to pummel that head to the other side, get his knee inside on the guard. Nico doing a good job pinning. And something really good that Nico's doing here is constantly moving into that north-south position. And you see this opens up his front headlock. Nico doing a good job here of trying to look for some front headlock chokes. It looks you can see his grips here. He's kind of going palm to palm. It looks like he's trying to move into anaconda. Anaconda would have been a good option if Mike managed to get up to both knees. But you can kind of see here Mike is still down on one hip. So he's still kind of in guillotine territory. So instead of that bottom hand here latching under, he wants to latch over. So if he latched over the top here with that bottom hand, he could have went high elbow guillotine, which would have been a more viable option for him here. Also, Nico staying on both knees here. If he would post this leg out at a 45, it would give him better positioning where he could start looking in on that guillotine a little bit easier. And it would also actually add some more weight down upon Mike, improving his positioning. So yeah, these guys are doing a good job. Just kind of getting caught up in the scramble here. We'll see what happens next. Mike doing a great job here working that 2-on-1 grip. That's kind of what saved him there. So none of the chokes really played too much of a role. And now we just kind of see Nico again working from the north-south. Mike looking for that single, trying to come up here. These guys doing a good job staying active. So we see Nico here looking on the Kimura, trying to get that arm over to the other side. Mike doing a good job keeping it tight to his body. And you can see Nico really pulling here, and Mike bridges up and starts moving on top. So like let's just go back just a little bit here. So, some little things that we can see happening. So what kind of allowed Nico to escape, or Mike to escape, is that Nico was pulling up really hard with the Kimura, right? He gave a couple good tugs. So Mike timed that with his bridge. You can kind of see his bottom leg here is bridging off the mat. This is what's giving him the opportunity. He timed that bridge really well, which is going to help him drive that weight off. If Nico would have been pushing down with his Kimura in this situation, he would have been able to keep the weight on Mike and transition to arm lock. But because he was pulling up, Mike timed his escape really well, and it's going to help him get out. So yeah, if we just kind of keep rolling here, we'll see that Mike manages to come on top here. Mike doing a good job blocking his head. And since the bottom leg wasn't in the right position, there's no chance for armbar. Mike looks like he took a little shot to the mouth. Give these guys a minute or two to reset. Skip ahead here. And we're back in it. Again, both these guys are a little timid with their grip fighting. They need to be a bit more active there, looking for grips, trying to initiate, trying to get some simple moves going. Nico doing a good job here, sliding in, stepping up. Look like he wants that ankle lock on the right side. You can kind of see him. I'm thinking about setting it up here. You can see his gripping over. He's just not quite deep enough on that grip where he can really threaten the foot, but he's also doing a good job here with that knee through the center, starting to threaten the pass as well. So we'll see what he kind of decides to do. Yeah, and he sits back for the foot lock, but you can kind of see already Mike did two things good right away. I think some of this was also positioning, was that Mike's foot is too deep inside already for the straight ankle lock to work. For an effective straight ankle lock, that lock needs to go right across his ankle, right across his Achilles at the bottom. So you can see already his Nico's grip is a bit crooked here. It's not going to kind of line up where it needs to. It's a bit high on the Achilles. So he's not going to quite have the position he needs to finish. The other thing Mike's doing really well here is he's grabbing the head. Because he grabs the head, it's going to make it really hard for Nico to go flat and finish the straight ankle lock. So yeah, we'll just kind of let this play out and see what happens. And it looks like Mike's still doing a good job pushing his foot through. Nico needs to use that middle knee a little bit more to create space. He's doing a good job staying on the leg. And it looks like Mike's going to survive this one. But Nico, really great job going right back to his passing, moving his way into side control. And we're having that battle for top position. And Mike looks like takes another elbow. These guys doing good, restarting, getting right back into it. Mike moving into half guard, looking for his underhook. But Nico doing a good job keeping that knee up in the center. Getting some good passing opportunities from both these guys. Nico backsteps, starts looking on the knee bar. But Mike does a good job getting his hips out. It's not quite as available to him. And because his positioning's lost, let's go back there just a little bit. This is kind of what's putting Nico in trouble. Eventually leaving for him exposing his back. And if we let this play out, he gets the tap. So let's kind of look back here. Where did things start to go wrong? So Nico's actually in pretty good positioning here off his back step, right? If we look here, you know, his elbow positioning is pretty good. He's doing a pretty good job of keeping Mike flat. He's kind of lost the leg. His leg lock opportunity is kind of gone. He needed to kind of control Mike's bottom knee a bit better, which we can't see. It's off frame. But he would have needed to control that bottom knee a little bit better if he wanted to attack it. And only other thing I can kind of see here is he could probably get his hips out a little bit further just to widen his base. But outside of that, everything's looking pretty good initially. Let's see where things start to kind of go wrong. Got some pummeling here, so Nico staying active, looking to control that knee. But you can see now, Mike, one of the things that Mike has found space to do is sit up. He's no longer got his shoulders on the mat, and that's partially because Nico took his weight off him. So now that Mike can sit up, it's starting to expose more of Nico's back. And now this grip that on the bottom leg that he initially wanted for the leg lock entry for the knee bar is not really kind of serving him anymore. It's actually it's hurting him in this position. So we'll kind of see what happens here as this plays out. Mike does a good job starting to control the head. He's seeing opportunity to attack the neck. Nico does a good job of kind of facing in here, but he's also now moving into a position where there's potential for triangle. And he does a good job of trying to pass around that leg right away cutting the knee through the center would have been the better option there. So if we look back just a little bit, if Nico would have cut his bottom knee here through the center over his thigh, that would have been a better route for him to go. But instead, what Nico decides to do is go around the outside of this leg and fall to his far hip. So because he took that route, this is what slightly left Nico off balance. You see there's the jump, and you can see it's kind of, this is what's going to expose his back as he turns the corner here. And this is where Mike starts to move into his RNC. Now look, if Nico could have made some quick defensive measures here, if he would have turned his hips this way, back in towards Mike's legs, it would have helped defend the choke. It wouldn't have been quite as heavy. Once his hips turn in, he would then have to rotate his legs around Mike's head. And as he kind of walks in this direction, that would have relieved the pressure. So it's kind of weird, like turn your body in, but then you got to walk your legs back towards the head. And that would have helped Nico escape. But again, like, I think all things considered, this played out probably as good as it was going to. And Mike gets a quick tap. So I think these guys got a little bit left. They're doing a good job going back and forth here. Again, this is near the end of the week. Both these guys have been pushing hard. Again, taking their time here, doing some real slow grip fighting. We need to get a little bit more active with our grip fighting. There we go. And this is something we see quite often with beginners, is that this tendency that they both want to fight on their knees. And you notice Mike kind of made that decision here to be the first person to stand up. Let's actually even go back a second here. So this was like the critical moment, essentially, is when Mike decides he's going to go all the way to his feet. Now Mike's level is much higher than Nico's. So for him to switch to a guillotine here is going to be very easy. And especially because Nico's decided to stay on both knees here. So we just, like, something I really emphasize with my guys, like, we don't want to get into too much battles where we're both on our knees. Either one person plays guard, one person plays stop, or it's just better to start standing. And this is kind of like classic beginner situation that will come up. And Mike does an excellent job attacking the guillotine here. Nico rolls with it. And Nico doing an active job here, trying to defend the guillotine, trying to get some space on the hips. But what I would be doing slightly differently is focusing more on this elbow. So if Nico would move his hand to this position here, he could start trying to roll his head out through to the other side. And this is what's going to kind of save him in this position. And Nico does a good job passing here. But Mike, again, getting out on his hip is going to get another opportunity to come back on top and attack the guillotine again. So the awareness is here. Like, these guys are doing a good job switching positions. Again, this one you can tell is pretty tight. You can see Mike's grips in this position are quite strong. And he pulls through and manages to get the tap. So yeah, I hope you guys liked my commentary. Just kind of going through two of my no-gi guys. They're real dedicated, working real hard. Nice to see their improvements. And I hope you guys found this insightful. And I hope you guys want to see more of this. If you like it, make sure to like and subscribe. Now go train.